this is the hardest question in company building. This is a bit of an impossible one to answer. So I think it's more about having kind of a frame of mind, how you view it. And maybe you can also choose a little bit depending on, what company you're involved in and what phase of company building you're involved in, which perspective you should take. But in general, I think that people give up too early. And ultimately, at least 90% of the cases, that is the reason why a company fails. It's not because of these concrete reasons that you typically will post-rationalize with. You will say things like, oh, the company failed because you didn't have product market fit, or the company failed because you couldn't attract a certain type of client, or whatever it is. But actually the reason the company stopped was because the key people gave up and they decided to stop. It was not like they were forced to stop. They jumped to the conclusion that it was now time to stop because of these post-rationalizing reasons. So this is a constant struggle in our minds, and my way of thinking about it is, I don't think I am suited or able to make that call. So I will try to continue for as long as possible and only really stop when there's an external reason stopping me that I didn't choose myself. And that could be, for example, the business is bankrupt, the bank takes the company. That's an external reason, it's game over. When that actually happens, you can't do anything more. Maybe you can come in and bid for the bankruptcy estate, but at that point in time, you're at least forced to stop. And the reason I think that it could be valuable to apply this type of frame of mind on early stage companies is that when I look at the companies we have actually managed to take from absolute zero to selling it and making a successful exit in that sense, following them from the inside over many years, their story is exactly the same, and many junctures in that growth journey is exactly the same as a company that fails because somebody says, no, this is impossible, we couldn't secure the key clients, the market wasn't ready, we shut it down. I know from the inside that we have had these junctures at least 3, 4, 5 times during these so-called successful growth journeys. So I can't say that I can, judge should it continue or should it be shut down, because they behave exactly the same from the inside. So the successful cases, what sets them apart is that suddenly, you hit either a new market segment or a new way of growing, or you secure key investors, whatever it is, but suddenly they take off, or suddenly you attract interest from buyers. And it's not really predictable, these things. So if you can extend the time horizon where the business is still alive, you will increase your chances of succeeding in these things happening to you and to your company. And that's why you should always try, in my mind, to stay in the game for as long as possible and not reach that point when you are shutting down. On the flip side, I think you should look out for not escalating commitment. I think that's also a little bit of a reaction pattern that is somewhat human, at least for entrepreneurs and company builders. That when you're hitting a rough patch, you're kind of doubling down. You're doubling down on your time invested, you're doubling down on the money invested, you're doubling down almost on everything because you feel, okay, here's a struggle, I need to solve it, I need to get out of it. But that type of behavior almost shortens your possible time horizon that the business can be running, because you're maybe putting in even bigger money, you're putting in even bigger part of your time, and maybe you have no time left to basically support yourself and your family with another income or whatever it is. Rather, you should maybe reduce your commitment, but make sure that the company stays alive. So examples of that is cut your costs, because then you can reduce the amount of money that it burns every month. maybe reduce your own time involved in the business so that you can take a consultancy gig on the side and earn some money on the side so that the company can stay in the game, in the market. So in this framework, it's almost like, an option, the value of an option that could suddenly have value because it's in the money. So that's why I think you should not shut down prematurely. You should always try to stay in the game.